guys, LongHaul Larry here. We are back into this trailer. I actually ended up not working last night on it. A friend of mine stopped by with some car trouble, and I started helping that person, and I jammed my finger pretty bad, and I couldn't move my finger, and it swelled all up, and I went. And after I got done with his car, I got done and went in there and I put some ice on my hand, and then I just grabbed my finger and pulled on it, and I was able to, it put me in a lot of pop, and it got it to move. So my finger's moving again, but I kind of took a bunch of ibuprofen and just put ice on my hand, and I think what I'm going to do is tape it. I'm going to tape it to my other finger, but I can't do that right now because I got this work to do. But I took apart, I checked the bearings out on this thing, and the bearings were junk. There was actually one of the bearings, I guess I don't have it down here. I guess I left it up there. The inner bearing that's right in here, it was actually, it was coming apart, and one of the bearings, one of the rollers was actually broke. So it was scarring up the race and everything, so I had to pound the races out of it and everything. This is the hub for it. So I had to run down and get all new bearings. And we're going to be installing these. So right here's your new bearings. And right here's the new race. Never replace these bearings. I've seen guys try to do this, try to do a shortcut. Buy new bearings, but leave the old race in here, and then try to put the new bearing in there with it. It's not gonna work. It'll work for, you know, you'll be able to get it back together, but guess what? It's gonna fail. So basically we gotta press these in. You can use a press, but I can tell you, I can show you a shortcut here. Oh, I guess I don't have one as big. You can see I have all different sizes from over the years of changing these things. Basically, when I pull the old one out, all you do is just take it and just cut it with a grinding wheel. Make a slit there so that it will go a little smaller, and then you use this to set on top of here to pound on top of it. That way it pounds around the whole surface, around the exterior of it, and it won't damage the inner edge of this. It's just something I've done. But I don't have one, so I'm gonna have to cut the ones. So these are the ones that came out of it, so I'm just gonna take a cut off tool and just put a cut in there. There we go. So you can see what I did there. Just cut a slit in it. But I always do this, and I don't know if this is right or not. I've always been, you know, I've worked on these older trucks and stuff. But I've always put red Loctite, because sometimes these hubs will get worn. Sometimes these hubs will get a little bit worn or something like that, and when you put the new races in there, sometimes the actual, going down the highway, the races will spin, and if it does that, it'll just wreck the hub. So basically, what we're going to do, I'm going to see if I can do it this high on the bench. So we just get it set in there like so. And then we just set the other race right on top of it. And we just set our driver on top. And you can do this in a press, but I've done tons of them this way too. I can tell you right now that's in there. You can feel it when you hit that spot. When it bottoms out in there. And you can feel it if you, all you can do is just stick your fingernail up in there. See if you can fit your fingernail up in there, and it's tight. You can feel it when you're hammering down in there. It'll go, 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 and also just boom, you can feel a different hit. And then I usually give it 1 or 2 extra whacks, and there you go. So we're going to do the other side. Sorry for my bench being such a mess. I actually still haven't cleaned up from the last project I was working on. So now you can see why I split these. See, because we still have about a 1/4 inch to go, and we're down inside here now. So if I just had a regular driver, it'd have to be the perfect size of that. And as you drive it down in here, you might actually mark up the side of it. So the old one has a rounded edge, but it has a nice flat that catches that. So it goes right on there, it's perfect size. But because you cut the groove in there, you'll be able to pop it right out of there. So that's why I'm doing this. It's going right in. Right there it was. I can tell you bottomed out, yep. So now we'll just give it a couple whacks, make sure it's in there right. She's good. And see, then it pops right out. Because he cut that groove in there. So there you go. So there she goes, she's all in there good and tight. So now we have our races installed. So I'm going to set this over here for now. And then I'm going to pack the bearings. Alright guys, now we need to pack these bearings. So basically what we need to do is we need to get grease all packed in here. So what you can do is, this here is a grease packer. It's just a cheap one. But basically what it is a cone like this, and it has a hole right in the center of that screw for the grease to come out, and it's kind of concave like that. So then you put your bearing in here, just like so, and then this one's a little bigger, so I'm gonna have to go the opposite way. And then you just screw it together. Just like that. And then when you pump grease in here, it's going to fill all that up in between the bearing, but the only way you can get out is to come up through here, and it packs all the roller bearings in there. It takes a while to do, so we just pop it on there, and we just thank ourselves that we have an electric grease gun. Well, as you can see, it's coming out now. See how it's pressing out through those rollers? That's what you do until you get to there. You want to make sure you fill up all the cavities. Then we can just take it apart. And you can see there. You can see how it fills up all that. And as it goes out over the edges, and it goes up through there, and it feeds all up through, and it fills up all around the roller bearings up inside here. This is what you want. And then what I did is, as it was oozing out, I just took my fingers and kind of smoothed it out on the outside of it. And what I'm going to do now is pull the bearing off, just like a so. And basically what I'm going to do is just sit here and just rub it in and kind of spin it as I'm doing it. This is a high temp synthetic wheel bearing grease. I believe the manufacturer, I think I got a case of it somewhere, but it's made by Mobile One. There we go. And then I always put just a layer of it on the inside of the race. Just like so. We just boop, drop it in. There we go. I'm gonna change my gloves out. There we go. Got our bearing all seated in there. Everything is good. Now we got to put our seal on. And basically the seal will just sit like so. Where is it? Here it is. And that's what this is. This is a seal driver. So set that on there. There we go. Our seal is installed. This is what will ride on the spindle on the trailer. This little rubber braid here will ride on there. Got her sealed and set down in there. And we got our bearing all set in there. So now I'll pack the other bearing, get that ready to go in. And then I'll also shoot a bunch of grease up in here. That's basically what I do with this here, is I'll just stick my fingers and pack it up on behind there and stuff. Gotta fill that void with grease. So, well, you guys, all right, we got our hub all in, we got our races installed, we got the bearings packed, the bearings are in it, well, one is, and we got the rear seal. We got our spindle all cleaned up, all of the surface is all good and everything. There's no big nicks or nothing. We took some memory cloth and cleaned it all up, which is gonna make. Give you guys a little tip. If you have a leaking wheel seal, and let's say you go to a garage and they put a new one on, and a little while later it starts leaking again, there is something you can do about that. It's real simple. If you go to a parts place or whatever for semis that know about this, you can get it's a seal sleeve, they call it. And it's a really thin piece of, I think it's like a hardened steel, almost like a stainless or something. And it's just bigger than this. I mean, it's so tight. And you put it on, and basically it's just flat, and then it's got a little lip on it. And you'll put it on there, and it has a tool that comes with it that goes over top of it, and then you pound it on there, and it will pound the sleeve on it. I mean, it's just thousands thick. It's almost like paper, but it's real hard steel. And it will press over the top of this, and then that little tab thing that comes up will actually snap off when it gets to the right spot, when it gets flush with the edge here, and it will give you a perfectly smooth surface here. Then when you put the wheel seal back on, you got a really nice smooth surface and everything. This one looks real good. Doesn't have too bad of nicks or nothing in it, so I think she's going to be fine. So basically, all we do is just lift up the hub, start working our way in there. And sometimes that inner bearing can be just a little bit tricky. But I got it. There we go. Now I'm going to put some grease up inside here, inside the middle of this axle. I'm going to fill this up with grease in between the two bearings, just to give it extra grease in there, so when it all heats up, it all flows around in there. All right, got some grease shot in there. Now we'll take our bearing that we packed down there. Start it on there. And then this one here, some trailers will have a double lock nut. This one has a single, and then it has like a clip that goes inside here. And the clip goes in, and it's got a bunch of teeth in there that catches it. And the little clip has a piece that sits down in a groove on the axle spindle. So once you get this torqued right, then the clip will go in there and it catches. It's got a whole, it's almost like a ratcheting teeth that are going all around. There's teeth all around. And it will lock into these teeth, and then that little piece will stick on inside there, and that's what keeps this nut from backing off. And basically, as we're tightening it, we're just giving it a couple spins, making sure everything's flowing right, everything's rolling good, working those bearings in. We're just pushing the hub on there. And what's going to happen is it's going to push the seal right up onto the back part, onto the spindle where it seals. So I'm as far as I can by hand, so now I got to get my torque wrench. Alright, now what we need to do first is torque this off to 200 foot-pounds of torque. This single axle nut, it has a retainer clip. It's a newer style. Some of you guys may be used to seeing, if you've done this before, seeing like a double lock jam nut, where it's two nuts. You torque the inside nut, and then the outside nut you torque, and that locks it together. This one here just has like a little clip that pops in there. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to keep spinning this as we tighten this down. And this is going to seat it. And we're doing it at 200 foot-pounds. Alright. Try to spin it. Okay, we got her to spin. We're going to back it off. Then we're going to turn our torque wrench down to 100 pounds. There. Lock it in. We're going to do the same thing. Alright. We're going to back it up again. And then once again, we're going to turn our torque wrench down to 50. There we go. Lock it in. And we're going to torque it that. There we go. We got a real nice smooth now. And if you guys remember hearing that from the first video, it was like, you could hear the metal going in there. Got a real nice smooth. So now, we'll keep our torque wrench happy nearby. And this is a snap ring, and what it has teeth all around the outside of it, and it has a main piece right here on the inside that fits in the groove in the spline, and there's little integrated teeth on the inside. And all we do is, here we go, and it just fits inside that nut right there, and one piece sits inside the spindle, and those little teeth, they grab inside there. There we go. Got our new gasket here. And you can see the hub here. It has this little needle. If you want to think about it, it's almost like one of those little air pump things that you can pump up like footballs and basketballs with. Well, it goes right inside here. There's a little rubber deal that goes inside there. And it sits up inside. And that's how the air gets out to the tires to auto-inflate the tires. So, we're going to put bolts in here. Hold the gasket where I want it. There we go. Slide that in there. You always want to put new lock washers on these bolts when you put them back in here. I got it set at low. Now I'll come back and torque them. There you go. Got yourself a hub. Nice and smooth hub. Once you put the tire on there, it's a little hard to turn now because everything's all new. It's a little, but once the tires get on there, she'll turn over real easy. So there you go. Installation of the hub. Now we're just going to put all the S-cams in and all the S-cam bushings, throw the new brakes on, and put the tires back on it and get her going. So I hope everyone out there is having themselves a great day, great night as watching this here video. If you are not, certainly change it all around and try it all over again tomorrow. I'll give you guys some more video in a little bit. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.